Yeah. I'm curious. One of the things that Kelly and I have talked both on the podcast and just like casually over a margarita about is what all of this AI innovation and a lot of what you just described is going to do to the role of the SDR in the future. It feels like the first one that has there's real teeth around that moving agentically. There's some solutions out there that position themselves as having AI SDRs, and that series of agents you just described is arguably a series of SDR tasks that you would otherwise hire someone to go do all of that work for. I'm curious if you have any opinions or insights or where you think that's going from a market perspective from everything you've seen.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say I love that you said margaritas. I'm a tequila girl myself. I
Yep.
have found my people. But to answer your question is, yeah, I do have an opinion. I don't think that'd be really good at predicting the future, but I'm really clear on what our point is right now. And I am a big believer is that you have to find a model in your organization that does a good split of human element versus
Mm,
AI. And I would say, let's do a 70 split where we're using AI to offload any non-revenue producing task. So when we look at all of our activities that a seller needs to do to convert opportunities, what task can AI offload? And then adding in that human element. I think that if we can start to partner like that with AI versus thinking what it's going to replace is a game changer for everybody getting up and ready.
totally.
And
Yeah.
I like to use the example of computers. You know, there was a point in time where sellers did not use computers. They went door to door to sell things. Today, there's no way an organization would hire anyone who didn't know how to use a computer. We use our computer for a lot of things, but we also use our human element to do things. And I think AI is just exactly that. We're introducing AI into the workforce, we're not replacing humans. So that's my
Yeah.
take on it.
I love that example. I was actually talking to an organization the other day. So to back up, I did door to door. It was hospital doors, but
Wow.
and we had computers. I mean, this was 2007, I guess. I'm aging myself. We still, to differentiate ourselves, would travel and knock on the CEO of hospitals' doors to get initial meetings. But I was talking to an organization the other day, and I kind of figured that was done. You didn't do that. But I was talking to an organization that said, we've adopted AI. We're using AI for a lot of our prospecting. But the one thing we also do is we still do door to door knocking. We still get out in our cars, drive to differentiate ourselves. And I kind of loved it. It's exactly what you said, Donna. All the things that they could operationalize and use via AI, they are, but they still want that human aspect and they wanted to differentiate. So they still are sending their teams out door to door to knock on doors. And I was like, that's the best of both worlds. You're using humans for what you absolutely have to use humans for, but then you're taking all of that other workload off of them. I thought it was great.
Yes. Yeah. I think we got to be smart with it. And there just seems to be this conversation around replacing. And I'm like, pump the pump the brakes, baby girl.
We're
Let's do
augmenting,
one
yeah.
thing. Yeah. It may happen one day, but yeah, I think organizations need to think about how to play in the same sandbox. I'll share is that at the beginning of this year, I stood on stage and I said, by the end of the year, every sales leader, or, I'm sorry, every sales rep in this room will be using AI agents to do some of your work. And then I asked, how many of you know what an AI agent is? You know, and of course it was like, mm, no. And so I explained it. And then I said, you guys, by the end of 2026, every department head in this room, you will be managing both humans and agents. Get ready.
Yes. Yeah. No, I spoke at Dreamforce last year, and that was one of the things that I said is that we are we're on the cusp of having an ops role whose job it is to manage agents. Like you will hire someone who just needs to make sure that all of your agents aren't hallucinating and that they're working off of the same data sources. And if you're using a copilot in this system and something custom built here, and yeah,